Brock and Ibragimov. And there you see both fighters are the same age. Ibragimov was born 1 week before Calvin Brock, January 15th, 1975. Ibragimov with a 1-inch height advantage. The arm length measured from the armpit to the end of the fist. Ibragimov with a 2-inch advantage, and both fighters said they were both in fantastic shape. Brock 224 pounds, Ibragimov at 219. Rules now with Max.
Okay, unified rules, another title eliminator, sanctioning body title eliminator, so you got unified rules. You know, you get a lot of knockdowns in this fight. These are guys who can punch, heavyweights, and you know, we'll see if they get off the deck, if they go down, but no 3 knockdown rule. Only the ref can stop the fight. If there's an accidental headbutt, go to the scorecards after 4 rounds. You can't be saved by the bell in any round. Another fight where it could be the last round, 1 second to go, you still got to watch.
The record of all 4 fighters before the night started combined 98-0-1. This man owns the 0-1, Ibragimov. A closer look now with Max.
96 Olympian who lost in the 2nd round, but in the 1st round beat an amateur world champion. And you know, amateur scoring, it's for the birds. Cousins Ibragimov. His brother Sultan, probably the better boxing name, Sultan, pretty good. And he's also the hotter prospect, but we've seen with the Klitschko's brothers, these guys are more distant cousins, but still cousins. We saw the Klitschko brothers take over the heavyweight division, and these cousins want to emulate them. And he sparred with Calvin Brock and a couple of years ago, and as usual, when you talk to the guys, each remembers that they got the better of the sparring.
Interesting situation for Timur Ibragimov. He hooked up with trainer Panama Lewis about 3 years ago, Lennox, because he said he needed to learn the American style of boxing. Now, Panama Lewis is here tonight, but he won't be working in the corner, banned in certain states for some alleged shady activity in the corner. But getting back to Ibragimov and trying to learn that American style, is something you agree with?
I think that's great that he wants to learn the American style. You know, he's definitely got the Eastern European style up, and he knows how to use that. To have the American style, he wants to definitely appeal to the American public. And I think that's great that he wants to learn the American style. And let's see how much he's learned in this fight now.
Ken Craven is the lone opponent that both of these fighters have faced. And there you see, Ibragimov took care of him in 2 rounds. Brock took care of Craven in 4 rounds. Calvin Brock ready to make his way to the ring. 28-0, 22 knockouts. A closer look with Max.
2000 U.S. Olympian, lost in the 1st round. Again, amateur scoring, you can't take it too seriously. Right or wrong, champ?
I hate amateur scoring. The computer thing is terrible.
Absolutely. Nickname is the boxing banker because he gave up recently his banking job, but he held it as an amateur and a pro, and has a future in that business if he wants it, but he's a full-time heavyweight and a serious fighter, wants to make a run, wants to become the heavyweight champion, Lennox, like you were. And, you know, positional play. He has Tommy Yankello has taken over sort of as a chief trainer from his father. Yankello's an excellent trainer, trained Paul Spadafora, wants Brock in position on the inside to land his punches, just like Brock wants to position himself tonight to assault the very top of the division, in his opinion, Vladimir Klitschko.
Calvin Brock hooked up with Tom Yankello after his 10th fight as a pro. They've been together for 4 years. Max, you mentioned that Yankello trained Paul Spadafora. Spadafora held the lightweight title at one point in his career. So Brock says, hey, look, if it ain't broke, no need to fix it. He and Yankello have worked very well together. There you see his last fight, his defeat over Zuri Lawrence. We talked about the methodical performance, but then he floored him in the 6th.
You know, people criticized him because it took him a bunch of rounds and it was a pretty close fight on the scorecards, you know, before he knocked Lawrence cold with 1 left hook. But remember, Zuri Lawrence, the guy who can't punch at all for a heavyweight, is only a world-class fighter because he has fast hands and he can box. So to box on even terms with that guy, or even be up in the fight halfway through a fight, is impressive. And then to knock him out with 1 punch is even more impressive.
Notable fights. He got off the deck against Jamil McCline in the 7th and won that fight in 10, and he knocked out the Black Rhino, Clifford Etienne. And now for the official ring introductions, we send it in now to Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, from Caesars Palace, Las Vegas, Main Events presents 2 undefeated big boys. 12 rounds of boxing. This is in the heavyweight division. Brought to you in association with Warriors Boxing Promotion, sponsored by Nemiroff. Sanctioned by the Nevada State Athletic Commission, Chairman Skip Avancino, Executive Director Keith Kaiser. At ringside, the 3 judges scoring this bout will be Adelaide Bird, Lou Filippo, and Robert Hoyle. And inside the ring at the bell, the man in charge of the action, your referee, Vic Draculich. And now, for the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, from Caesars Palace, Las Vegas, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Introducing first, fighting out of the red corner, wearing green, official weight 219 pounds, an undefeated professional record consisting of 21 victories, including 13 knockouts, only 1 draw, originally from Uzbekistan, pardon me, now fighting out of Hollandale, Florida, ladies and gentlemen, the undefeated Timur Ibragimov. And his opponent, across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing blue with gold, official weight 224 pounds. A perfect professional record consisting of 28 bouts, 28 victories, including 22 knockouts. He trains in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, but comes to us from Charlotte, North Carolina. The undefeated heavyweight contender, Calvin, the boxing banker, Brown.
All right, gentlemen, this is for the WBC Fecker Box and the IBA America's heavyweight titles. You received your instructions in the dressing room. Again, I want to caution you, any punch below this point, going to be called low. Any punch below this point, going to be called low. With that said, I want you to obey my commands, protect yourselves at all times. Touch out now. Good luck to both of you.
Calvin Brock is a fighter who trainer Tom Yankello says does just about everything very well, may not do one thing great, but his versatility and his mental strength, those are his best assets. Ibragimov, he believes that his best asset is his speed. He believes his speed will be able to neutralize Brock's punching power, which Brock has with both hands. And right away, Lennox, you talked about the Americanized style that Ibragimov has tried to learn over the past 3 years. Most guys you see from Europe, they stand up straight up and tall. And one of the things you will see Ibragimov do, he will lunge in with that jab, crouch down and lunge and try to get to the body.
I think when you start off with the European style, obviously there's always things that you can do to make the fight better. And I think he's just trying to feel him out in the first round before doing anything American style. He's just sticking to what he knows right now.
Ripped off 2 quick jabs to the head of Calvin Brock.
Both of these guys can box, and both of these guys can punch.
Brock's going to take his time. Oh, overhand right from Ibragimov. He winds up.
Watch that hand to the face.
Lennox, who would you say initiated that clinch?
I say they both initiated the clinch. Right now, you know, they've sparred 3 years ago, so they still have that in their mind. And they both obviously said they won. So this is professionals now. You know, it's a different story, different ball of fish.
Both of these fighters with an extensive amateur background. Close to 200 fights apiece. Both of these fighters making it on the respective Olympic teams. Brock, the U.S. team in 2000. Ibragimov 96 games in Atlanta.
Whoever's initiating a clinch, I wish they'd stop.
It's funny, most heavyweights, you know, when they're boxing inside, they realize they're so close to each other, and, you know, they just clinch. They just wait, actually, for the referee to stop them.
They don't want to get countered, and so they grab the other guy around the back. It's like they're getting tangled up. Brock winds up with his left hand behind Ibragimov, and then Ibragimov puts his right arm over Brock's neck, so Brock can't hit him.
Beautiful. Hey, just move your head a little bit. Some more feints, all right? Oh, that's it. Just stick with the game plan. Keep pushing it back.
Keep your range for right now, okay? Make sure you know everything that's going on. He's countering once or twice, you know what I mean? Getting on a little bit of odd angle. So keep your range. Keep tagging him to the body with that jab, okay? Or that'll stop him in his tracks.
Make it harder than you got. Bring, one more time. Come on. Bring. Hey.
When Brock was taken out in the first round, the 2000 Olympics, he said he was hurt by stories after the fact that said he probably would be the least likely member of that 2000 Olympic U.S. boxing team to go on to succeed. So he and his father, Cal Vance, decided they wanted to make sure that they took every step slowly, because they knew that if they tried to proceed too quickly and he got a loss on his record, the naysayers would come out.
Right hand counter by Ibragimov.
Yeah, Ibragimov did something that was good. He actually measured him. Put him in the range with that left hand and then fired off that right.
The old Larry Holmes.
The old Lennox Lewis.
Yeah, right. Larry would do it once you got you hurt. Lennox would get you hurt by doing it.
Ibragimov busting the defense of Calvin Brock with that left jab.
Lennox in the corner, you heard Tommy Yankello say he wants him to keep pushing Ibragimov back. And then you heard Calvin's father say, but, you know, keep your range. Is that a conflicting thing in the corner there?
Not really. When he says keep your range, keep your punching range. You don't want to all of a sudden go in close and then all of a sudden have no punching.
Smother your own power.
Right.
Why does Yankello want him to push Ibragimov back?
Just to impose his will, impose his size and strength on him. Realizing that Ibragimov is the smaller of the two when it comes to size.
Lighter.
And lighter.
Brock moves in behind two left jabs. Oh, nice left hook from Ibragimov upstairs.
Brock is applying steady pressure. It's not effective pressure all the time, but it is steady.
And Lennox, he's not head-hunting either. He's making it a point to make sure that he finds the body as well.
Which is important. Most heavyweights definitely go for the head. You have to be an all-around fighter. And can't be just a head puncher. You have to work the body, give him different angles.
And there you see the good work to the body. Tell you what, Brock's doing, when they're clinched up, Brock isn't resting, waiting for Vic Draculich to pull him apart. Nice lead right hand by Calvin Brock, right as the bell sounds.
See, if you feint, that's what's going to happen. Feint him and make him commit and counter, okay?
Listen, he's trying to land that bomb right hand, so you got to watch out for him. That's about it. You understand what I'm saying?
win.
Yeah, I understand that. But look, you're doing the right thing by keep tagging him to the body. All right? After a couple more rounds.
There's a situation where Bragimov is measuring him with that left hand to fire that right. As soon as he passes that left hand, fire that right. And Calvin was there for it.
Try to bring it right upstairs. You understand? Bring it upstairs and go right back down to the body. You know what I mean? Make him not want to be in there.
Mike Tyson in the crowd tonight, ringside. Ibragimov actually said he sparred with Tyson for about a month when Tyson was getting ready for his fight against Danny Williams. Punches through 2 rounds according to CompuBox. Brock landing 12 of 28. Ibragimov 8 of 24.
You heard in the corner that time, Yankello wants Brock to elicit he wants him to make Ibragimov lead so he can counter Ibragimov's lead. Feint him, throw out a little jab, make Ibragimov throw something so he can counter. Meanwhile, his father said keep tagging him to the body. Brock has been doing a good job of a pretty steady body attack.
Yeah, those were power punches, by the way, for 2.
Calvin's doing the right thing by initiating the contact. That's what you have to do. Be first in there. While Bragimov is laying back, just waiting for him to come in. Calvin is initiating, and that's what you need to do. Impose your will, control the action.
But this fight has so far been marred by excessive holding.
Well, when Brock was criticized against Zuri Lawrence prior to the knockout, nice shot that time from Ibragimov. There wasn't a lot of holding in that fight against Zuri Lawrence.
No, it was a fast-paced, good heavyweight boxing match.
See, what Calvin should be doing right now is throwing that double jab. Double jab is very important in this fight because what it does, it gives Bragimov 2 things to worry about, 2 jabs. And at that time, he's moving backwards and he's against the ropes.
Bragimov told us that he expected Calvin Brock to come out strong in the early part of the fight, and that he was going to move early. It's as this fight develops, if it develops into the middle to later rounds, that he plans to stand his ground apparently.
Do you like the clinching, Lennox, by Ibragimov from a tactical standpoint?
Well, you know, they're heavyweights, so they're going to clinch a bit more than the smaller boxers. But Bragimov definitely is doing a lot of clinching in there. He doesn't like to work from the inside, he likes to work from the outside. So anytime they're in close, he's holding.
You know, clinching to me is always an indication of a failure to box properly. That if you really could play defense correctly, you would. And that it's sort of the last resort of the guy who at that moment is desperate. Because he's in position where he can get hit.
And sometimes you just want the referee to break you so you can get back in the middle of the ring and box.
Brock with a nice uppercut there.
See, Brock did the right thing right there. While he has him in the corner, take advantage of him and jump on top of him.
Very good, very good. Saturday, July 15th, HBO pay-per-view brings you the rematch between Shane Mosley and Fernando Vargas. Mosley won their first fight by TKO in an all-action war. Vargas is looking to turn the tables this time around. 1 week later, July 22nd, live on HBO, welterweight champ Carlos Baldomir puts his title belt on the line against boxing's most recognized blood and guts warrior, Arturo Gatti.
Okay?
Close your eyes and listen. Calvin, just like in sparring, we did all right, different looks.
Your right
okay?
hand's getting in, but you dig to the body.
Let's go, corner. Go, guys. Okay? Go. You got it?
Fran Charles alongside Lennox Lewis and Max Kellerman. Boxing After Dark. Heavyweight matchup between American prospect Calvin Brock, undefeated at 28-0, taking on Another undefeated fighter, Ibragimov.
You know, by the 5th clinch in the round, there should be a point deduction or something. And the odd thing is both corners seem pretty happy with what their guy is doing. My question is, if both corners are happy, why aren't I happy watching this fight? Right. Everyone's happy but the fans.
The corners are mainly concerned with their guys winning. They're not necessarily worried about how they win ugly.
And you know, not to sound too Jerry Maguire, but it's kind of the speech maybe Winky Wright needed at the end of the Jermaine Taylor fight. That doesn't inspire people. The heavyweight division is wide open, and people are waiting to be inspired.
Well, Brock said he's not interested in winning a title belt. He wants to win them all. He wants to be the universal heavyweight champion.
The way he put it was he doesn't want to be a heavyweight champion. Like Lennox Lewis, he wants to be the heavyweight champion. When people walk down the street and they point to him and say, that's the heavyweight champion of the world.
So there's a lot of people asking, well, who is the heavyweight champ right now? And he runs off 3 or 4 names.
The answer is there is none. But he did acknowledge that in order to be considered the best, he thinks he needs to beat Vladimir Klitschko, which doesn't mean that Klitschko's the legit champ. What it means is Klitschko is the #1 heavyweight.
Everybody's always going after the #1 heavyweight, but you know, in order to do that, you need to box against everybody and build up a good echelons of wins.
Brock comes forward.
Well, what do you know about that, Lennox?
Ibragimov counters. And then Brock connects with 2 left jabs. Crowd starting to get antsy here at the Roman Amphitheater at Caesar's Palace. They want to see a little bit more action. It's almost as if Brock is trying to get his timing down, Lennox.
You know, he's doing an okay job. Right now, you know, there's never a perfect situation for a boxer. You have to make that situation work for you. You have to develop the situations, open them up, throw different punches. Like I said, set traps.
How could Brock open him up?
Definitely a double jab in there. He needs to throw that double jab. More combinations, take more chances.
Why would the double jab open him up?
Because right now, Ibragimov is looking for one jab.
Brock with a nice combination there to end the 5th. And as we mentioned, it's the 10-year anniversary of Boxing After Dark. And all throughout the year, we're going to show you some of the more memorable moments. We got 2 undefeated heavyweights in the ring tonight. 9 years ago, we had 2 undefeated heavyweights as well. David Tua and Ike Ibeabuchi. Jim Lampley now with the call.
Hard right hand over the top by Tua. Ibeabuchi says, I've got your right hand right here. Buy a ticket and see a fight like this, you've gotten your money's worth. David Tua versus Ike Ibeabuchi, another instant legend fight on HBO's Boxing After Dark.
WBC International Heavyweight Champion Ike, the President, Ibeabuchi.
David Tua and Ike Ibeabuchi. Tua didn't show that much action against you, Mr. Lewis.
That's because he couldn't. I was always one step ahead of him, even when it came to the speed. You know, I'm a bigger man than him, taller.
Now, Ike wasn't able to show a lot of action against you either because you guys never fought. Now, just between you and me, Chef, tell the truth. Would you be anxious to get in the ring with Ike Ibeabuchi? Is that the guy people look forward to fighting, or maybe not so much?
It definitely looks like a tough force to be reckoned with, but, you know, I went to the sweet science, baby. That would take him out.
Solid right hand from Calvin Brock lands on the chin of Timur Ibragimov.
Ike Ibeabuchi was the last heavyweight to inspire those who watched him beat Tua, knocked out Chris Bird, never lost. He's in jail right now here in Las Vegas.
Calvin Brock starting to walk down Ibragimov here as we're in the 5th round of a scheduled 12-round heavyweight bout.
He's doing the right thing, definitely trying to find that opening. And once he gets close to the ropes, once Ibragimov gets close to the ropes, Brock is able to throw his combinations and impose his will on him, which is doing a great job at.
And I'll tell you what, doing a nice job of touching the body.
has consistently
He really
fight.
has.
And as I'm talking about people, athletes inspiring, boxers inspiring, Brock's style is not an overwhelming offensive style. He's a well-rounded fighter who, at the end of all of his fights so far in his professional career, has come out with a W, sometimes spectacularly.
And that comes from his left hook.
And he also has power in the right hand as well, and that's always going to keep a fighter in a match.
The other thing is, as he's landing these big power punches increasingly, people tend to forget 4 or 5 boring rounds. Like, if you can end a fight the way he did against Zuri Lawrence, 1 punch.
Calvin Brock starting to settle in. Continuing to work to the midsection of Ibragimov. Those punches will take their toll over time, slowing the moving Ibragimov down.
Yeah, at this point, this is where Calvin's supposed to be, jumping on, leading the punches by throwing more jabs. He needs to be throwing a lot more jabs out there. Cutting off the ring, stop following Ibragimov around.
Lennox, it seems like such an easy thing to do, throw the jab. Why don't guys do it more often?
A lot of boxers look for that power punch. They think that one jab is good enough and then throw that power punch. They need to throw like 3 jabs sometimes, 4 jabs.
A little action at the end of the round, but both fighters touching gloves and a sign of sportsmanship, getting ready to head into the 6th. And that's when Calvin Brock handled his business against Zuri Lawrence back in February in the 6th round. We talked about it. People thought it was a methodical fight through 5, but then in the 6th, watch this left hook. Lawrence out before he hit the canvas. And there's a power, Lennox, we talked about in either hand.
Great left hook.
Lawrence was given oxygen there, but he was all right. Left the ring under his own coordinates.
And then you're loading up a little bit. Just mix it up, okay, Cal? So you change the speeds on, okay? That's all you got.
You gotta like what you saw at the end of that round when they got into a skirmish, a little scuffle after the bell rang, and Brock said, "My fault," and he tapped gloves. A likable guy, not a soft guy, not trying to make friends. He's here to fight, but just a good sport.
Brock says he definitely believes he's one of the smarter fighters in the sport. He's got a degree in finance, UNC Charlotte. And he uses that, he says, to his advantage, that his mental ability is his best asset inside the ring.
It helps to have a good left hook, which he does.
He's able to adjust to styles. That's what working with his father, tapes provided by Kenny Welton over the years as he grew as an amateur, that's what he developed. He said any style that came his way, he was able to learn how to adapt and conquer. Nice right hand from Ibragimov.
If only the crowd here at Caesars could adapt to the style of this fight, we'd be okay. Unfortunately, they want to see some action. Although the action has picked up in the last couple rounds.
It's worth mentioning again, when the night started, the temperatures were over 100 degrees. Probably hasn't cooled off that much. These guys are heavyweights. Ibragimov, 219 pounds. Brock, 224 pounds. Lennox, have you ever been in the ring under conditions like these?
Yeah, one time, man, it was terrible. It was terrible. It was like boxing in the sauna. Sweat was dripping off of me. I was wondering, why am I feeling so tight? I know I'm in great shape.
Is there anything you can do to prepare for something like this, or no?
Definitely go to training camp around those kind of conditions. Great right hand.
That's 2 solid rights, and Ibragimov is staggered.
And this is why people watch heavyweight boxing. They want to see spectacular knockouts produced by right hands, kind of like that last one.
Ibragimov is definitely hurt.
Calvin Brock says his best asset his mental ability and being able to adjust to styles. He seems to have figured out Timur Ibragimov.
With Mike Tyson in the audience, Brock is throwing those punches with bad intentions.
Great left hook to the body.
See, what Brock is doing is the right thing. He's still keeping up the pressure. He's not going mad. He's taking his time, and this is what he's supposed to do. Look for that opening and then take advantage of it.
Big round here in the sixth for the 31-year-old boxing banker, Calvin Brock.
Big round for Calvin Brock.
That happened, right? The jab, baby. Keep using it. Calvin, pop it, and then change speeds with it. We'll catch him again, okay? Promise you, baby.
That jab did it.
That's it.
That's like say faint change of speed. Okay?
Okay, that's it.
You gotta slow him.
Leave your people down? You want to leave your people down? You want me to stop the fight? I'm asking you, you want me to stop the fight? Okay, then fight, goddammit!
Here's Calvin Brock catching him with a right hand, actually two right hands. Ibragimov definitely felt that. Those right hands came with some bad intentions.
There was that double jab you were asking for, champ.
Double jab.
The right hand followed. Neither jab landed, but the right hand landed.
It set it up. It set everything up for that right hand.
Brock with his best round in the fight, landing 20 of 34 total punches. That's his high. Ibragimov 5 of 32. Miguel Diaz in Ibragimov's corner, telling him, look, if you don't want to fight, I'll stop it. But if you're here to fight, then get busy.
You know, something that Calvin Brock has shown in this fight, and he's shown in most or all of his fights, has been a kind of a slow, steady imposition of his will. He started out the first round or two. There wasn't much to choose from between the two guys. He didn't look so much better, faster, or bigger punching than his opponent. But he steadily imposed his will on Ibragimov and steadily took over the fight. And you turn around, and it's the seventh round, and now Brock is just consistently winning rounds by wider and wider margins. It's a pattern I've noticed in his career, and it says something about his mental toughness and focus.
I think you're right, Max. He's just consistent, and that's the main thing to do and to be in this ring. Consistent with your punches. As long as you have a game plan from the beginning, follow it out to the end, and things will be good for you.
He has a certain inner belief that top fighters seem to have, that he just believes he's the better guy and that his class will tell, and he just sticks to his game plan, and eventually he'll come out on top.
Brock with another crushing right hand.
You see, he can really punch, but he's not the hardest puncher you've ever seen.
I don't know why the referee warned him there.
Draculic warning him about hitting with an open glove.
He's not blazing fast, he's not slow either. As Yankello, his trainer, mentioned, he does everything above average to way above average.
Timur Ibragimov told us, point blank, he wants to be the heavyweight champ because he's going to bring big dollars. That he believes the reason you see so many Eastern European fighters now the top of the division because they are more hungry than the American heavyweights. But he's not necessarily fighting that way.
He's never been in as a pro with a guy as good as Calvin Brock. And he is not fighting, he's fighting uncharacteristically defensively. I've seen him much more aggressive than this in the past.
Yeah, his punch rate isn't that much. He's not throwing a lot of punches. I think he's trying to set up for that one shot too. He's in a survival mode right now. He needs to definitely throw more punches, definitely throw more jabs. He's not doing that. He's quite content with holding and just kind of walking around.
But Lennox, if you're not using your jab, you're the lighter guy, you're not the stronger guy, how can you be looking for one punch?
Definitely the wrong game plan for this type of fight, especially against Calvin Brock.
Was that a double?
by Boxing After Dark. It's the late hours on HBO.
Trying to see what round it is.
There you go, Max.
Oh,
there you
there
go.
it is.
See, you ask and you shall receive.
There it is.
Come on, man. Come on, man. Come on, Timo. Come on, Timo. You can do it.
Timur's cousin, Sultan, also a heavyweight prospect, 19-0.
And a silver medalist.
That's right. The Sydney Games in 2000. The second in the corner.
You know, in the hotel today, we were sitting trying to stay cool, and Mike Tyson passed by, and he was mobbed. And the reason Tyson is mobbed wherever he goes, even though he came up short in various instances, including characteristics like his heart, his will to win in key moments of his career, is because he attacked ferociously and knocked guys out. Calvin Brock seemed to be on his way to scoring a knockout a couple rounds ago, and lost his way maybe in the last round or two. Lennox, what have you seen?
Yeah, I mean, he could have definitely taken him out, but I mean, he's happy to box another couple rounds, soften him up a couple more times, and seize the moment. I think he's just doing that.
Ibragimov trying to show some life there. It's tough, though, to knock a guy out who wants to survive. Clinching has been a part of Timur Ibragimov's game plan from round one.
Well, he knew that Calvin Brock was going to come out strong, but planned to make his stand by the middle rounds, and I don't see where that stand is occurring. And as a result, not only is he not really putting himself in a realistic position to win the fight, but he's not going to win any friends watching him either.
This is a situation where Calvin's doing some thinking. He's trying to adjust to Ibragimov. He's thinking, what do I need to do to knock this guy out?
Trying to set a trap?
Set a trap up. Right now, if it was me in there and Emmanuel would be saying, listen, pick up the pace. You need to step it up and go right after him.
The boos turn to resounding cheers as Brock lets his hands go.
Seemed to take a little something off those shots to land them.
Once Ibragimov gets into the corner, Calvin's just going to take advantage of him. This is what I mean by setting guys up, setting traps for them. As soon as they get in the corner, they can't go anywhere. That's when you start your attack.
Solid 1-2 that time. Touched the chin of Ibragimov. Ibragimov landed a right hand. Brock comes right back with a left counter.
Break!
We are through 8 of a scheduled 12-rounder.
Sit down.
Tuesday, July 18th, catch the premiere of the next edition of Real Sports with Bryant Gumbel. With all the attention on baseball's current steroid issues, we take a look back at the cocaine problems the game faced in the 80s and the many similarities in how Major League Baseball has reacted to both scandals.
And do combination, you got it. Why don't you throw 3, 4, 5 combination? You want to win the fight, you have to punch, Timo. Otherwise, you don't win the fight, okay? Let's go, man. Go for broke. Nothing is going to happen.
On the right hand. All right. Turn. Once you step with the jab, that's enough. Just turn that right hand, okay? All right. Don't overthrow. Don't lean in.
How you feel, man?
That way you come back. You come out with your hook.
Go, guys.
Miguel Diaz was talking plain English, and Ibragimov speaks English. Can't say it much plainer than that.
Get that bucket.
And he's also telling him the right thing to do. He's got to go for broke.
As a fighter, you should want to know where you stand in the fight. You should want honesty. And Miguel Diaz letting him know how he feels. CompuBox numbers through 8 rounds. Calvin Brock averaging 8 connects around Ibragimov, just 4, which speaks to the point Miguel Diaz was making. You got to throw some punches.
I mean, 8-4, and this isn't the amateurs where they all have to hit the button at the same time to register a punch. 8 punches to 4.
Heavyweight average is about 45 per round. Either fighter throwing in big volume.
See, Calvin Brock can take a lot more chances now, you know, and he definitely he should try a lot more different things. He can definitely get Ibragimov out of here if he tries. He's got the punching power, he's got the will.
You know what he doesn't have, though? He doesn't have those blazing fast hands to be able just to create knockouts. He sort of has to set traps and counter to land those hard shots because he can't just open up on guys and get them out of there. At least that's the way it appears.
Ibragimov catches Brock with a counter. Brock shakes his head as if to say, you know what, didn't hurt me. Temporarily knocked him off balance. Lennox, what do you think about Brock's balance?
His balance is good. It's okay, can definitely be improved upon. I would love to see him a bit lighter on his toes to be able to get in there a lot quicker and get out.
Yankello was talking about keeping him boxing behind his shoulder and not putting his weight out in front of his front foot so much. How do you think he's done in that regard?
Yeah, he's pretty balanced. His weight is evenly proportioned between his shoulders and his feet. Not there. I think it was a situation where he slipped. But I love to see boxers on their toes. It just makes them, you know, react a lot quicker, and they're ready for anything.
This guy's a big-time tap dancer. It should come naturally to him.
That'd be interesting. You know, you've seen the Muhammad Ali shuffle, now you see the tap dancing of Calvin Brock in the ring.
Calvin tap. Fans here waiting for him to tap Ibragimov's jaw so something can happen.
Stay low, champ. Thank you. How you feel?
Good. Behind the head crowd.
Behind the head crowd.
Okay. Try to land that right hand, okay?
When you get it.
Come on, Timo, let's go. 10, 11, and 12. You got 3 rounds to knock him out. Okay? You're gonna do it for us? You're gonna do it? Go for broke, man. He's not gonna hurt you. What is he gonna hurt you with? He's looking to quit.
Don't wait.
Second down, let's go. Come on, guys.
Miguel, tell him how you really feel.
Yeah, if by quit Miguel means knock you upside your head, I agree with him entirely. I don't think Brock's looking to quit, but he's trying to hype up his fighter.
Top of the show, we asked the question, are Joel Julio and Calvin Brock legitimate prospects? Can people get excited about these two fighters? Julio ran into a very well-tested veteran in Carlos Quintana, who looked impressive. Because of Brock's style, we mentioned he doesn't have the blazing speed. He has had some fights in the past that have gone the distance where he hasn't looked great. He's won them, obviously, he's undefeated, but he went the distance with David Bastos. He won that fight, went the distance with Jamil McCline, was knocked down in the 7th round, but actually got the best of McCline for the remainder of that round and went on to win that fight. Went the distance against Terry Smith back in 2004. So those are the fights that the critics point to when they say they're not so sure this guy.
For Calvin Brock to attract a following, he's going to have to win consistently. He doesn't have the kind of style that gets people excited. It's not the most dynamic style. It's not a terrible style, but he's going to have to win consistently and establish dominance and turn his fights into events. If you want to watch top heavyweight, you got to watch Calvin Brock. He hasn't done anything to disqualify himself from attaining that so far tonight, and he's in against a guy who can handle himself.
So when it comes to the 10th round and there's only 2 more rounds to go, this is when you say to yourself, listen, I want to look impressive. I want to finish this fight in a good way, in a strong manner. And this is where I have to do it. This is the 10th round. This is where you have to step it up. 6 minutes. All you have to do is just go out there and work for 6 minutes. That's all you have to impress.
In an era now where guys are 235, 240, 250 in the heavyweight division. Brock, he says he is best at where he is tonight. 224, 225. He's been up to 235.
In other words,
even slower.
In other words, not on human growth hormones. Like most of the NFL, Major League Baseball, the heavyweight division. What's your best estimate, Jeff? What percentage of heavyweights are juicing?
I don't know.
Because it doesn't look like Brock is.
But at 225, is he big enough to wow guys in the
heavyweights? The heavyweights now, they're big. I mean, they're over 6'8". Some are even 7 foot. They weigh 245 to 300 pounds. They're talking about making a super heavyweight.
Yeah, that's natural. That's natural. But it's not when people talk about that sort of thing in sports.
You know what?
Take a listen.
Give me some drink, some water. Let him drink some water. Drink. If you don't do it this round, we don't. You come back in the corner, we're not gonna be here. You come back in the corner, we don't gonna be here. We'll leave you alone. Okay? You wanna leave us our shit?
Okay? That'll work.
Okay, let's go. Let's go. Let's go, guys. Nice.
2 more good rounds, champ. 2 more rounds. 2 more rounds.
Inside the championship rounds now. This heavyweight bout between Calvin Brock out of Charlotte, North Carolina, and Timur Ibragimov from Uzbekistan, now living in Miami, Florida.
Man, you mentioned in the last round size, the disadvantage in this era of super heavyweights. And I think it also speaks to, as I was saying, in all sports, when you talk about juicing and who it's unfair to, the fans apparently like it. They like to see the home runs and the knockout punches. Who it's unfair to are the natural fighters. When Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire aren't being fair to players who don't want to do that to their bodies. And maybe guys who are juicing in the heavyweight division are being unfair to guys like Calvin Brock.
Let's be fair, though. None of the big guys so far have been, quote-unquote, tested positive or anything like that.
No, it's
so
natural.
Make sure that
It's natural for a guy to weigh 250 one fight, 220 the next fight. It's called cycling on and off. But I do think that has a look. The heavyweights of 20 years ago were 6'3", 220. Nowadays, the same guy who's 6'3" is 240. And it's not, yes, weightlifting is more prevalent, but it's a lot of weight. Brock, to me, does not have the look of a guy who is cheating. He has the look of a natural fighter. And I think he should be commended for that.
And if you look at Calvin Brock, his shoulders are pretty small, but he's got a lot of power in those shoulders.
Brock goes down. Draculich immediately says it was a slip.
I think he stepped on his foot there.
Minute left here in the 11th round. Diaz said, if I'm going to start throwing punches.
Stops here, okay? Box. Time in.
Draculic's out trying to get some control of the fight.
Good left hand by Calvin Brock.
Right.
Nice rip to the body from Ibragimov.
Right. Right. That's going to be a point. Next time. Next time. Box. Right. Let's go.
Lennox, if you're Calvin Brock, are you happy with tonight's performance so far?
Well, I would definitely be happy because I won. You know, it's not over till the last bell rings, but you know, right now it looks like he's winning the fight.
Wrestling match starting to break out here in the 11th round.
It's getting pretty sloppy in the 11th round, but you know,
Wrestling match is something.
he's definitely in control of the
no
fight.
legs
and
under him,
I don't
this
see him
bitch.
losing at the present time.
Bitch, come on, man.
You see, when you throw 4 or 5
All right, you probably come, trying to throw everything you got.
Hey, Cal.
12th and final round. Make it good. Touch
12th round. You're strong as a bull, right?
Yeah.
All right, listen. What's that?
Stiff in legs
12th
under
and
him.
final round. Keep
Low.
it clean. Make it good.
Watch the forearms and hold him.
Drink, drink, drink. Timo, it's said to you now. You want everybody down. You want Barbie, him down, everybody down. Sultan.
And underneath him, though. You're still picking your head up top. You got to get your head underneath and work, okay? Let's go.
Twelfth and final round here between Calvin Brock and Timur Ibragimov. Brock should have the fight comfortably in control. The question is to the American viewing public, is he doing enough to generate the kind of interest that you want to see from an up-and-coming prospect?
Lennox, at times in your career early, you were electrifying like against Razor Ruddock. At other times, you were criticized for being boring and not inspiring enough in your performances, and you were at times a fighter who felt win today, look good tomorrow. But you were so good, you were able to dominate the weight class over a number of years and gain recognition as the best, so all of your fights became events. From what you're seeing of Calvin Brock, do you think that he can do what you did and not always look spectacular, but win consistently enough to turn his fights into events?
He can win consistently. You know, he's doing the right thing. It's going to be difficult because there's certain fights out there he's going to look great, as you've seen in the past, where he's knocked guys out with the left hook. And there's other fights where he's just going to look ordinary, and that's down to the opponent that he's facing. You know, like Dragunov right now, he's not really initiating any punching or any action. He's just kind of laying back and allowing Calvin Brock to, you know, impose his will and step, you know, walk after him.
So win today, look good next time.
Correct.
Brock doing some nice work to the body, doubling up with his left hook. Continues to go to the body and then definitely goes upstairs. You see flashes. You definitely see some flashes.
And that's right. It's a little bit unfair to Brock to say look good next time. He is trying here. He's trying to press the advantage, and Ibragimov is holding. Can't you think what Miguel Diaz did at the end of the last round? Is it too much of a harangue at this point?
No,
He's saying you're not doing enough, you have to do more, you should approach it another way.
No, I think he's approaching the right way. You know, you've got to be truthful to your boxer in that if he's losing the fight, tell him he's losing. Boxers want to know that they're losing the fight or if they're winning the fight. Even if it's close, tell them they're losing because they have to win. And he's trying to get, you know, his boxer to throw some punches and try and get a knockout in there because that's the only way you can really win this fight now.
Calvin Brock fighting to the end here in the 12th round. Brock lands flush with a right hand.
Ibragimov's hurt.
Okay, let's go.
Not only hurt, but he's tired. Anytime you see a boxer put both hands on his waist, he's tired.
Calvin Brock tried everything in his arsenal. May have been enough to win the fight, is it enough to win the imagination of the United States boxing public?
You got the
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right, now we're going to take a look at the judges for tonight's fight. Adelaide Bird, 17 title fights under her belt, and Calzaghe Lacey. That one was pretty easy to score. All Calzaghe. Lou Filippo, 62 title fights. And Mosley winning over De La Hoya, as did most in the first De La Hoya-Mosley fight.
Very defensive.
Robert Hoyle, 7 title fights.
I heard him a few times, but
this one was pretty easy as well. Had Klitschko ahead on the scorecards. Klitschko's devastating knockout.
They're trying to win, but
Lennox, you hear Calvin Brock. He's
said he heard him a couple times.
well, he might have been trying to win, but just now been up. When you're undefeated, loosen it up some more. Loosen up some more. Well, yeah, man. You know, second chance in this game. You know that. You know, I had told Carmen already though.
Ibragimov, he never landed more than 6 punches in any round. Certainly would be tough to see how he could win a decision. For the decision, let's send it in now to Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen from Caesars Palace, Las Vegas, we go to the scorecards. Lou Filippo, 117-111. Adelaide Bird, 119-109. Robert Hoyle, 115-113. To the winner by unanimous decision, the boxing banker, Calvin Brock.
31-year-old Calvin Brock improved to 29-0. A winner by unanimous decision here tonight over Timur Ibragimov. Certainly the busier of the two fighters as we take a look at the total punch stat numbers for the fight. There you see total punches. This guy's averaging less than 30 per round. Ibragimov threw more, but Brock landing nearly double. A 33% connect rate. The power shots, Brock landing 25 more and throwing 29 more. Neither fighter did a great job utilizing their jab, but for more on the winner, we send it in now to Max Kellerman.
Congratulations, Calvin. You got by an undefeated guy, another solid fighter. You've been fighting a lot of solid guys, building yourself up in recent fights. Assess your own performance.
He's real good. You know, I give him credit. The guy is good. I first thank God in Jesus' name for the victory. I'm not hurt. His experience went 12 strong rounds. He didn't throw a bunch of punches, but style make boxing matches. I had said when they chose this opponent, I beat him, but I wasn't so sure I could knock him out because he's a safety-first boxer, and it's not always easy to knock out safety-first boxers.
It seemed that you had him hurt around the 7th or 8th round. Was that on your mind to press the advantage and get him out of there, or did you just want to stay consistent and think that it's good enough to win on points?
Stay consistent. The knockout comes, it comes. Well, let's make it through the boxing match and win it without getting caught with something, you know, lucky by him. And there are no second chances in boxing. You know, people like winners. I'm winning. You know, the next boxing match, I might go in and knock my opponent out. I got the killer instinct. I just thank God for the victory. I mean, the guy is undefeated.
Not anymore. Did you feel that? Did you feel his power early in the fight at any point, and did that make you maybe a little bit more cautious than you might have been?
Yes, he had a decent pop in his right hand. He's laid some opponents out with one right hand blow. This is boxing, man. Any heavyweight above 200 pounds can punch.
Did the boos affect you at all? Did you hear them?
No, I can't let that affect me. You know, this is my office here. I run things up in here. I got to fight my fight.
Okay, who's next? Who do you want?
Talk with Carl Moretti. You know, I just put my career in God's hands and pray about everything, and you know, we'll see. We just, you know, we'll see.
Thanks, Calvin. Congratulations, guys.
All right, Max. Well, Lennox, sir, you heard Calvin Brock say, look, the guy was undefeated, and two, he was trying to knock him out. He just couldn't do it. Your thoughts tonight on Calvin Brock's performance?
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good disciplined performance. You know, the guy he was boxing against was a difficult guy to kind of get his punches off. He wasn't really throwing too much punches. He was moving backwards. So it was a hard fight for Calvin Brock, but he did the right thing, and he came out with the win.
All right, well, we will see what the next step is for the American heavyweight prospect Calvin Brock as he moves to 29-0. And earlier this evening, it was Carlos Quintana winning over Joel Julio in a unanimous decision. All right, champ. Lots of fun. Next time, next month, Santa Barbara, huh?
Yeah, sounds
All right,
good.
California, here we come. Now, a quick look at some upcoming programming on HBO 7.